Hi everyone, welcome. I have a dental yoga therapy practice for you today. Thank you for joining me. If you have them, I would grab a couple of yoga blocks. If you don't have blocks, then you might grab some extra blankets or cushions so that you have some extra support. Pillows, rolled up towels, whatever you've got. And you may, some of you, like to have an extra blanket around as well. Not required, but something you can play with some of these postures to see if it's helpful. So just to offer those options, this is going to be a practice that is done lying down. So you don't have to be on the floor, but having a firmer surface sometimes can be helpful. So if you're able to be on a firmer surface, do. If that is difficult for you for any reason at all, or simply something you don't want to do for any reason at all, feel free to practice on the surface you've got, and you'll just notice how that feels as we go through the practice today. We'll be playing a little bit with the idea of surrender. So sometimes we come to life with an attitude of trying to control and manage what unfolds, and we do that for really good reasons, and it serves us a lot of the time. And there are also times when it causes us suffering. So one of the teachings of yoga is about letting go of that need to control and surrendering to kind of trust or kind of faith in what is unfolding right here and right now, and our ability to be in the flow of that. So we'll play a little bit with those concepts as we go through the postures today, and you can see what unfolds for you. We're going to start lying down. And as you lie down, I would go ahead and start in this constructive rest position with your knees bent and your feet on the ground. Feel free to support your head or neck if needed for comfort. Take some time as you're settling in and make space for your body to be at rest here. Just going to move some props out of the way from myself. And we'll take a few breaths here just to arrive in the moment, to arrive in the space for practice. Noticing the sensations of your body against the floor. And seeing if you can just let your breath unfold. So even here, can you let go of your need to improve upon or shape the breath? Simply trust the next breath to arrive. When your body is ready, your body will inhale. Relax into the inhale. Relax into the exhale as it comes. So letting your body find its own rhythm. It may feel almost as though the breath is breathing you. And some days it's very hard to let go in this way, and that's okay. There's no failure here, there's nothing to achieve. So even that we're letting go of, right? So being present with the experience of trying to surrender to the breath, letting that experience be the way that it is right now, and trusting that it's okay. We're going to add just a little bit of rhythmic movement here. And to do this, I'm going to start to push my feet into the floor, like I'm trying to slide my feet in the direction of the end of my mat. And as I push my feet into the floor, I'm generating a rocking movement that is then traveling up through my body. And you can find your own rhythm here. So whatever feels best to you, this might be fast or slow, See if you can get a rhythmic movement. And then notice if there's a feeling of stuckness anywhere, like it's hard to let your body just flow into this movement. And that's okay. We don't need to fix that necessarily. You're just going to notice what's there as you're rocking, right? We do want to pay attention to any pain or other discomfort, so we're not doing practices right now that are increasing our pain. Not because the pain is necessarily dangerous, just because we're not playing in the realm of suffering right now, right? It's not why we're here. When you're ready, you can let that movement settle out. And as you let your body become still, there may be an echo of that rhythm within. So you're just going to notice what is. Nice, easy breaths, unfolding in their own rhythm. Surrender to inhale and exhale. From here, we're going to do a butterfly movement. We're going to do it a very specific way. So we're going to work with slowing this movement down so that it's slower than you ever would do otherwise. The idea here is we're going to get into a type of movement that's unfamiliar for most of us, unless you've done this practice before. And we're going to just notice how that lands in the body-mind system, right? Where there might be resistance or impatience that bubbles up. And then are we able to then settle into that slower rhythm? And how do we feel that in the tissues of the body? And how do we feel that in the whole rest of ourselves, right? In the inner landscape of ourselves. So your feet are going to stay where they are, but they may rock onto the edges of the feet as you go. The basic movement is to take the knees out to the sides and back up to center. And it's going to be a flowing movement, but we're going to really slow it down. So you're going to feel your natural breaths occurring. We're going to use 5 full breaths, inhale and exhale 5 times, to take the knees out to the sides. And then we're going to take 15 full cycles of breath, inhale and exhale, to bring the knees back up to center. It's very, very slow. We're only going to do a few of these. We'll probably do somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 or 4. If you get to 5, I would just stop. There's no need to overdo this movement. It can be very powerful, even though you might feel like you're going slowly. That is where the power lies. You don't have to be really precise with the counting. If you go 13 or 17, there's nothing magical about 15 breaths to come back up. It's just the idea is to slow yourself down. So when you're ready, you're going to take 5 full inhales and exhales to take your knees out to the sides. And then you're going to take 15 full inhales and exhales to bring your knees back up. Now, as you're moving this slowly, sometimes we'll get some tremoring. It can feel a little disconcerting when the body starts shaking like this. This is a response in the body to the slowness of the movement. It's normal and expected. So if you get some tremoring on any of these repetitions as you're going through these, if you feel able to just surrender and let it happen, do. So you're counting your own breaths, going at your own pace. Not worrying about being super precise, but slowing these movements way down. And then just seeing what happens. By the way, if you don't get tremoring, you may have some thoughts about that too, what that means. Whether you're doing it right. It's all good. So remember, this is a practice of letting go into the flow of things as they are. So we don't need anything particular to happen here. Are you able to show up, just purely show up in this moment with this particular practice, just the way it is right now? So if you're on your third repetition, or you're just starting your third repetition, or you've kind of lost track, but maybe you've done a few of these, then you're going to finish up the one you're on. Watch the tendency to rush now that I've said those words. We're really going to work with those breaths here, taking your time. Once you feel done, you're going to rest. And there's a few options for rest. You can stay with the knees bent and the feet on the floor. You might even tent your knees in to rest against each other so that they're supported a little more. Some people might really feel like they want to straighten their legs out or otherwise rest their legs. So feel free to rest in whatever position feels supportive for you. Just feeling what you feel now in the wake of this practice. And this can be a really powerful practice. So if you're doing this on your own, I would recommend not doing a whole lot of them. 5 is usually good. And not doing this right before you have to jump up and do something else, because it can really change what we feel in the muscles of the legs. We want to make sure that we're nice and strong and stable when we're moving about in the world, right? So when you feel complete, you're going to rest wherever you feel good resting, taking some breaths just to let your body settle. Noticing what you feel. There may be particular areas of sensation that are drawing your attention. Just noticing what is as we wrap up that portion of the practice. We're going at our own pace here, so if you need a minute, please take it. When you're ready, we're going to move towards a supported bridge pose. So here's where you might take one of these blocks. Or if you have blankets or pillows or cushions, you might use those instead. And we're going to want this prop to be at hand. Sometimes we've learned to step the feet really close to the sitting bones for bridge. My preference is to let them be a little further away. So there's a little more of a sense of space through the knees and the hips and the low back here. And then also to get a sense of the shoulders really being on the floor. And so here, sometimes for some of us, widening the arms a little bit really lets us bring the upper arm bone down onto the ground. So we get a nice support here through the upper body. You're going to press down into your into your shoulders and into your feet. Lift your hips up, and you're going to put that block on any height across the back of the pelvis. So nice wide support for the pelvis. You could have it on a higher setting, or you could have it on a lower setting, or maybe you've just got a cushion or two under there. And then you're going to let yourself be. In this version of bridge pose, see if you can let the breaths just flow through you, receiving the inhales as they come, letting the exhales go, letting your body settle and be. We're still paying attention to sensation here, so if anything about this isn't feeling good right now, maybe you're going to come out a little bit earlier, totally fine. See where it's possible to find rest in the body. Not everywhere. We're still doing a little bit of work here, but see where you can unravel a little bit of effort. Letting yourself be more at rest. There's no rush here. When you're ready to come out, we're really going to feel those connection points through the back of the shoulders, through the feet. Gently pressing down into those points to create some support to lift the hips up. You're going to take that prop out from underneath you and let the hips come back down to the floor. And then from here, we're going to bring the soles of the feet together, let the knees come out wide, and I'm going to encourage you to place blocks or cushions or folded towels or whatever you have underneath the legs. So we're not going for maximum range of motion here. If it feels supportive to put a blanket under your head or along your spine, feel free to add a little bit more support here. Arms can be out by the sides, or sometimes it feels good to bring the arms up so that they mirror the position of the legs. See if you can allow your body to settle. Focusing again on your breath coming in and out. Seeing if you can let the exhales go. So the exhale breath is completely passive, no effort required. Each exhale is a mini practice in surrender. With that support under your legs, maybe seeing if your body is willing to relax little by little. Let your head be heavy. Taking your time here. Just feeling what is. It doesn't have to be all good or all pleasant or pleasurable. See if you can let experiences come and go, even if they don't meet your expectations, maybe especially if they don't meet your expectations. When you're ready, very gently start to deepen your breath, focusing on bringing in a little more air on the inhale, still surrendering to the exhale. And then you might bring a little movement into your body, small movements at first. You might bring your arms down just to bring a little support to the sides of your legs as you bring your legs up. Taking a moment at first to return your attention into the space you're in. And then maybe it feels good to bring a little more movement into the body. Maybe you want to find a little stretch here and there, whatever feels right. And then if it feels okay, you might roll to the side. And use your hands for support as you come up. Taking your time to transition out of practice into the rest of your day. Absolutely no rush. Thank you for sharing practice with me today. It's a pleasure to have you along. If you have questions or experiences you'd like to share, please feel free in the comments, and I would love to read those and respond to any questions there. Take really good care. May we all be balanced and well. Thank you so much.